Oh yeah. Episode 29. Come on, let's go now. Yeah. The case of Plowboy's champion Willie. The producing power of Rancheritos Bean. The case of Can-Am's Becky and
Beetlejuice.
Let us analyze the evidence on this episode of Bulldog Court. Bulldog community, please rise. This is your host, Get a Hold James, because we got to get a hold of the game.
Court is now in session.
Yeah. Another episode of Bulldog Court. This is your host, Get a Hold James, because we got to get a hold of the game. I'm so happy that you could be here with me tonight. You could have been anywhere else in the Bulldog streets, but you decided to kick it with your boy. And I'm so happy that you did. You underdid. I know y'all tired of them turkey sandwiches, turkey stews, turkey dressing, turkey sandwiches, cranberry turkey delight, whatever you mixed and remixed of the leftover Thanksgiving. You know, that day after, you know, that seasoning and everything just sitting in just right. That's probably the best time to eat it, man. I'm just trying to tell you. You know, and for those, I don't want to offend those who don't acknowledge that day, you know, happy Indigenous Day to all those natives of the land. Shout out to them. Also, too, happy holidays from your boy, Get a Hold James, to the rest of the Bulldog world. I'd like to thank everybody who checked out last week's episode. We got into it. We saluted the late Irish Jerry and his legacy. Amongst other things we talked about, Magnum and Happy Jack. Are those dogs now extinct or disappeared from the scene? And how do you feel about that? I appreciate the commentary in the chat. I appreciate the commentary on the comment section afterward. Shout out to the replay game. You understand me? I want to just go ahead and shout out Bulldogging with Bo and all those channels that's really putting in that work on a weekly basis, consistently doing their thing. Salute to y'all, man, and keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great work. And like I say every time, I am not the judge nor jury, for it is up to you, the Bulldog community, to decide which way the tide may roll. Now, before I begin my first case, I have a overall question, a overall theme of these three cases. There's a reason why I chose these three cases on this episode. I wanted to highlight and question, propose a question to the Bulldog community pertaining to Kitten's devil Deacon. My question is, did Deacon produce at least 3 different strands of himself? I repeat, did Deacon produce at least 3 different strands of himself? That 3 successful lines of dogs that derive from him. We're just talking about Deacon, and Rancheritos Bean is off of Deacon. Plowboy's champion Willie, who we'll talk about first, is off of Deacon. And Can-Am Boys champion Becky is off of the famous Deacon to Assassinator breeding, which would give way to champion Beetlejuice. Okay. So I want to get into these 3 things. And would you say that he was successful in the sense of his producing power continued on and down the line in lineage? He produced 3 successful branches. And today I will present these 3 cases to show and prove, or you may have a counter to disprove this. But let us not prolong the time. Let us get into our first case. For the first case, the case of Plowboy's champion Willie, register of merit. Make sure I put that on there. Plowboy's champion Willie, register of merit. Willie would come off of, like I said, Kitten's Devil Deacon, bred to Barbed Wire Kennels Roxy, Turtle Buster female. This animal would be a champion himself, which is impressive enough, but also too become register of merit by producing Grand Champion Willie Jr., Grand Champion Smoking Joe, Gump's Champion Go, Champion Clyde, Champion Destroyer, and the list goes on and on. Do you overstand? So this is just one section of, but branching down from the Devil Deacon. And I understand that Grand Champion Willie did not produce as good as his brother, Grand Champion Smoking Joe. And I do understand, I see a pattern here. I love the copy twins. Shout out twin, man. Wherever y'all at, going hard twins. I see a pattern here. What they was putting, in the case of Willie and Grand Champion Smoking Joe, they bred a female that would also, I believe, go on to be registered merit by the name of Silk, which is a Jeep Red Boy, female. May have a little rascal in there, but for sure heavy on the Jeep Red Boy side of the game. And that produced those winning dogs that I just told you. Those two grand champions. Okay. With the case of, the situation with Champion Go, Gump's Champion Go, he also too is bred very similar with some Rodriguez Champion Gator, Blackjack, Jeep Red Boy Rascal on the bottom. So this is the pattern that I'm talking about. The pattern that I'm talking about today, that must have been the lick to put the Red Boy Turtle Buster with the Jeep Red Boy Rascal or the Jeep Red Boy to get these type of high caliber animals. And, like I said, even with Champion Go, and there are others that don't come to my mind right now. I'm coming off the top of the dome, but I'm just touching on this and I'm proposing these questions to the Bulldog community. Do you feel as though this is a legit line? Because we have to go beyond, I want to say 3 generations. We have to look at least 3 generations to consider a line. Or do you not feel as though you need that to be considered a line? But we do know that Plowboy's champion Willie was a producer, register of merit, but produced in more than one way. I think one of these breedings, they bred a Turtle Buster Jeep Red Boy female to him and got more winners also. So this is just the questions that I am proposing to the Bulldog community concerning Plowboy's champion Willie, register of merit. Do you believe that he has a legit line, which would therefore solidify at least one of these sons of Devil Deacon of having their own line from out of the Devil Deacon? So I will leave it here. I would love to hear your commentary. I would love to hear any questions you might have. I would love to hear any statements that you might have pertaining to this. Any counter statements that you would have to say this is not considered a line of Devil Deacon and there may be other factors that contributed to this. But then we can say that about every line that comes down off a particular dog. There has to be a top and a bottom. It takes 2 to tango. But I still would love to hear your commentary. So in the case of Plowboy's champion Willie, this case is now dismissed. We'll get back to the show after these important messages.